AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Decision Critical, Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomblade. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We'll get to Lee Sterling later this hour, his best bets for the weekend. Also, Mike Triplett next hour. So a ton to do, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. Saints are going to host the Giants on Sunday. For the first time this year, the New Orleans Saints are a favorite. Do you realize not only are the Saints favored for the first time this year, but New Orleans, through 4 games, has yet to lead in a game? 4 games, they've yet to have a lead. Not only have they not won, they have not led in a football game yet. So could be a lot of firsts this weekend for the New Orleans Saints if they're able not only to get a win, but to get a lead. But they'll have to do it against Jaxson Dart. And Dart's a guy that the Saints spent a ton of time vetting during the pre-draft process. As a matter of fact, Kellen Moore, when he met with reporters on Wednesday, talked about Dart during that draft process when you might remember the Saints brought him in for a top 30 visit, Pro Day, Senior Bowl, all the stuff. I mean, the Saints were sort of smitten with Dart. This was Kellen Moore about that process.
Yeah, we had a chance to go over to his pro day. I thought he just did an excellent job. You know, he's an awesome kid. Have really enjoyed watching him through his journey from all the way back to Corner Canyon in Utah to USC to Ole Miss. He's had just an incredible career. He's an awesome kid. He works his tail off. He's a really smart football player. I think that was, you know, when we get to go through that process with players, you get to really dig into, you know, how much football do they know? How much can they process? And I was blown away with how much he knew. And so I thought he was really prepared for this league. Obviously, he's hopped on his first opportunity, got a win. He's going to be a really good quarterback in this league.
A couple of this leagues there by not quite our league.
In our league.
We got a couple of this leagues, though, from Kellen Moore. Also, something else we learned in that soundbite, Jaxson Dart has a tail. He works his tail off.
Boo. Ah, come on. You can do better than that.
Can I?
Yes.
Can I really?
Yeah.
Guy said he works his tail off.
He did say that.
Why do people say that?
It's a nicer way to say works his, off.
His butt off.
His butt off, yeah.
His behind off.
Yeah.
How about he works?
Or the other word that means donkey.
How about he works really hard? He's great. Works
That's
really
too.
hard.
That works too.
I don't need to hear talk about a tail. So the Saints liked Jaxson Dart a lot. And there was a lot of talk about potentially drafting Dart 9th overall, which, of course, they didn't do. They took Kelvin Banks, went with the offensive lineman. But if you remember, there were reports that the Saints tried to trade back into round 1. They were trying to get back from 40 back into round 1 in the 20s to select Dart. But in the end, it was New York that moved back into round 1 and selected Jaxson Dart at 25 overall. Well, apparently, Jaxson Dart hasn't forgotten the fact that the Saints didn't take him 9th overall. And on Wednesday, when he was meeting with reporters, Jaxson Dart had this to say about the Saints not taking him in the top 10.
I think that there's always a chip on your shoulder anytime that something like that happens. But yeah, I'm just gonna go out there and play it to as hard as I can.
When you were sitting there at draft night and they're on the clock, did you think you might get a call? Did you have any inkling one way or the other?
Yeah, I felt like my visit with them went good. So, you kind of have thoughts in your head during the draft of, what options are really realistic, and I definitely felt like that was a place that, could have panned out. But, things didn't work out that way.
It's pretty clear Jaxson Dart has a lot of oddities. He has a tail, and he has a chip on his shoulder. I mean, Muse, that's a little bit, you got to acknowledge. A tail and a chip.
Boo.
A tail? How many NFL quarterbacks have a tail?
I would say all of them. I hear that all of them work the
Nope.
tail off.
Nope. No, you don't. Jaxson Dart's got a tail, and he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Chip. Right there on the shoulder.
If you could have a chip on your shoulder, what kind of chip would you want it to be?
Potato chip for sure.
What kind? There's a lot of different kinds.
Oh, you're trying like flavor or brand?
You want a brand? You going like
man.
sea salt?
Yeah, no, I'll
Just
give
the
it to you.
natural-
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Cape Cod sea salt and vinegar. That's what I'm going with.
See, I can't go
Love
with
it.
vinegar.
Love it, man. It's favorite chip. My favorite chip. Wow. Yep.
Paulie, how do you feel about sea salt and vinegar? Like the vinegar and the chips?
I like them. They're not
Do
my
you, the
favorite,
vinegar?
but I'll have some for sure.
Yeah, the vinegar thing throws me off a little bit. It's that sour, bitter taste. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it.
Sea salt chips are good too, just the plain sea salt.
Yeah, that's all I need.
I like the vinegar.
That's
too.
all I need.
If you had a chip on your shoulder, what would it be?
Not a huge chip guy.
Oh, okay.
You know what? You know what I really like a lot? I like Doritos.
Well, wait a minute. Nacho cheese, Cool Ranch. What are we talking about here?
Cooler Ranch.
Cooler Ranch.
Yep.
Okay.
Cooler Ranch.
Okay.
Yep. That's it. I don't really eat those anymore.
Yeah.
Former fat guy. All I eat is like natural, just potato, sea salt, oil. That's it.
You could make your own chips.
Hi, I'm Matt. It's nice to meet you.
I mean, I'm just
What's
saying
your
you
name?
could. I mean, you're not going to. I'm just saying you could.
I'm talking about make my own chip. So Jaxson Dart's got a chip on his shoulder because the Saints didn't take him 9th overall. Okay, well, then you've got to prove 24 teams wrong, Jackson, because 24 teams passed on you. Like, it's funny to me how these narratives start. And by the way, the Saints tried to trade back up to get him, but Houston, who was sitting there at 25, took the Giants deal. The Giants apparently offered just a better package to Houston at 25 than did New Orleans. But the Saints were making calls trying to get back in at the end of round 1 to select Jaxson Dart. They liked him a lot, which begs the question, like, did you whiff, if you're New Orleans, did you whiff twice? And not getting Patrick Mahomes back in 2017 when you allowed Kansas City to leapfrog you to get Patrick Mahomes, which obviously was terrible. And we'll see what happens with Jaxson Dart's career, but that's another guy that you had your sights set on, you were trying to take, and ultimately you weren't able to get. I do think this matchup will be fascinating to watch because respect to Jaxson Dart, he got a win in his first start, and they won it. Was it 21-18? Was it the final against 21-18 or 21-19? It was 21-18 against the Chargers. But that was a game where New York in the second half was not great offensively. They got the third quarter touchdown with the 2-point conversion, but they were shut out in the fourth quarter, and they only put up 21 points on the board. So as an offense, New York is scoring 18.3 points per game. Now, the Saints' defense stinks statistically. The Saints are allowing 30 points per game. Let me say that again. The Saints' defense is allowing 30 points per game, which is 30th in the NFL. There's only 2 teams worse than you right now. So the Saints are right middle of the pack in everything statistically in the bottom of the NFL in scoring, but the Giants' offense is the same. They're middle of the pack in everything. They're 17th in rush, 17th in pass, 20th in total, 27th in scoring. So you have these two units, the Giants offense, the Saints defense, that kind of mirror each other and where they rank statistically. So something's got to give here, and I'd hope that a little bit more veteran Saints defense against the Giants offense with a rookie quarterback making his first road start without Malik Neighbors will sort of swing the pendulum toward New Orleans. Dart did also talk, by the way, about not having Malik Neighbors and losing him for the season.
Yeah, well, you definitely can't, just replace a player like that. I mean, he's one of one, just his talent and his ability. But, we got a lot of good guys on our team, and it was definitely really hard. I think it's hard, just when you see somebody that you really respect, you have a really good friendship and all that, go down. And during the game, it definitely hit us emotionally just as a team. So our prayers are with him, and we're constantly just trying to look after him. And during this time, but we got a lot of good guys and guys who are going to be willing to step up, and they have to step up. So yeah, just going into this next game, just trying to get on the same page with everybody and being able to execute at the highest level.
One of those guys that are expected to step up will be former Tennessee Vol Jalen Hyatt, who's there with the Giants as well, former third-round pick. He'll likely see an increased role there with Malik Neighbors going down. So Saints and Giants, noon Sunday in the Dome. By the way, Brian Daboll did also have a thought on Jaxson Dart making his first road start in the Superdome, which, at one point there was the dome field advantage, which just isn't the case anymore for New Orleans. It just has not been a place that's been difficult for road teams to come in and win, but that's what Jaxson Dart is tasked with on Sunday.
Offensively, we're going to have to do a good job of communicating, from getting the play in to Jaxson communicating to whatever snap counts we choose to use relative to how the sounds are there, which is usually loud. You simulate it and try to do the best you can here at practice, but it's definitely one of the keys in terms of being able to communicate and operate and stay on track and eliminate some of the pre-snap things that when you play at a dome stadium, it's loud like this. So we'll work at it out here, blast it as loud as we can, and just make sure we're on point with our communication.
Last time the Saints won at home was last November at the home game against Cleveland. I remember they won back-to-back home games against Atlanta and Cleveland in November, and then they lost at home to the Rams, to Washington, to the Raiders, and then they lost weeks 1 and 2 at home this year. So the Saints have lost 5 straight in the Dome. It's been a hot minute since the Who Dat Nation's left the Dome with a win. See if they can get one on Sunday with the Saints welcoming in the Giants. And a quarterback with a tail and a chip on his shoulder. He works that tail off, though, Muse. So maybe by the time he gets here on Sunday, he won't have the tail anymore if he's worked it off. Is that fair?
That's fair, yeah.
Maybe he'll have worked it off. Maybe he'll have worked it off. Okay, it's after further review. If you work your tail off, you should go reward yourself. Dinner at Supper Club is a great way to do that. How about that transition? Professional radio guy.
That one was good. I like that one.
You like that one better than working his tail off?
Absolutely.
Okay. Supper Club, BTR.com for your reservation, or knock off of work today. Just go straight over to Supper Club. Moscona will have a jacket. You don't need one. Collared shirt, you're good to go. You want to throw on a sport coat? I love to do that when I go to Supper Club. I like to add a little flair. Throw on a sport coat, dress up a little bit, go have a great dinner at Supper Club. Always open seating at the bar. 14 bar stools, 7 tables in the bar area. First come, first serve. Saturday, no LSU game, so maybe it's a great opportunity to take the misses out as a thank you for not being mad at me for all the football I watch all throughout the fall. Great opportunity Saturday night. Get your reservation at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Get you a Sagrera steak, any of the great cuts they have off the specialty menus. Maybe try the bison, try something new. Try the sea bass. Maybe you want the Alaskan king crab legs. Whatever you try, it'll be the best thing of that thing you have ever had in your life. I've told you before, their meatballs are 35-day dry-aged beef. They're meatballs. It's just the best dining experience you'll ever have at Supper Club. Supperclubbtr.com for your reservation. Supperclubbtr.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out here. Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing here in Baton Rouge and all over the state of Louisiana. Coming soon to our friends in Dallas-Fort Worth, as that office is going to open up soon. All right, Lee Sterling in 30 minutes with his best bets. Muse, Paulie, and I will get to what to watch here in about 15 minutes. When we come back, Lane Kiffin proves he is a P1 listener of After Further Review. So if you're listening or watching to the show right now, you're in good company. The Lane train listens every day. I'll prove it to you next on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. Lots of ways you can get in touch. Remember, you can always call 888-8888, 888-8888, or you can go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. When you go to the website, there's a chat bubble right there on the bottom of the homepage, or if you're on mobile too. Really easy. If you have a question, you want a consultation, you just tap that chat bubble, and in an instant, you're chatting with someone live right there on the website at getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Or if you prefer to talk to a human, that's cool too. Call 888-8888. Lost art, verbal communication with other human beings. We like to text a lot, but if you want to talk to a person, Gordon's team lets you do that. 888-8888, 888-8888, or go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. You want to see testimonials, other results, they got it all at the website. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
I know, not good. My bad. Tail jokes and I don't know, Muse. Just one of those things.
You could have just called him by his real name.
Nah, but then that wouldn't have had the opportunity to make the, because now we're about to talk about Lane being a fan, and so I was talking about Trinidad Chambliss, and Chambliss sounds like Chisholm, and Chisholm scored the winning run last night against Boston.
He did.
So I was like, Trinidad Chambliss scored the winning run, but it just didn't land.
No, it didn't.
No.
It's still flying.
Or maybe you just didn't get it, Muse.
That much is obvious.
You're stupid, Muse.
That's not
You're
why.
a guy that reads the internet and believes internet rumors about Garrett Nussmeier having a torn oblique and needing surgery.
I do no such thing.
Maybe you're the guy who actually put that out on Twitter.
I am not the guy who put that out on Twitter.
Maybe you are.
I'm not.
I don't believe you.
Well, that's your prerogative.
Prove it. Yeah, thought so.
We could do that.
Yeah, really. Prove it. Prove it.
Yeah, IP addresses and all that
Prove
stuff.
you didn't. Yeah, let me
Take
see
a while.
that. Let me see that, Muse. Yeah. Okay.
We could get the information.
You have to the end of the show. I can get you, Ted. With nail polish. It's a Big Lebowski reference, Muse. Some people got it. If you got it, you're laughing right now. If you didn't get it, you don't get it at all. Lane Kiffin. See this, Muse? Lane Kiffin, P1 listener of AFR.
I missed this. What
listens
happened?
Every day. Lane Kiffin gave an interview to ESPN, and he says dynasties are over for bigger SEC leagues with, for bigger SEC teams with 9 league games. He said, when I was at Alabama, they'd be like, go watch the outside linebackers. And there's 6 of them over there that are first-round picks. That's not going to happen anymore because if they don't play, then they're going to leave. They can't keep them all anymore. Kind of feels like just a couple days ago on the show, we were talking about how the SEC feels watered down and how there's no dominant teams anymore. And your boy was sitting here saying that the reason that you're not seeing Alabama or Georgia ever be dynastic anymore is because they used to just hoard 5-star talent every year, and they had 5 stars backing up 5 stars, backing up 5 stars. And that's never going to happen again because they don't stay. So I think Lane was listening and just stole my talking points.
I don't know if he just
there's
stole
more.
your talking points.
There's more. You want me to keep going?
I mean, sure.
Okay.
Let's see if it helps your case here.
He said, quote, there's a bunch of really good quotes in here from Lane. He said, talking about going to 9 league games, you're going to have really good teams going 8-4 because we're going to play 9 conference teams, including 5 on the road. My concern for the programs and for the coaches is fans aren't going to be able to get used to numbers being different, the wins and the losses. If you're a program that's used to winning 9 or 10 games, you go 7-5, your fans are going to think the team's terrible, the coach is terrible. But you might have lost 4 road games at Georgia, Florida, LSU, and Alabama.
He's right, you know.
It's weird. It's almost like I keep saying that, too. Like, you're going to have to reframe how you perceive records, wins and loss records. Because, half of the league next year is going to be, you are guaranteeing half of your league another loss. I mean, think about it. You're getting rid of, effectively, the FCS game. Like, that's what's happening. You're getting rid of a rent-a-win and handing half of your league another loss. That's a fact. That is math.
Correct.
I'm not good at math, but that is math. That's what's happening. So you are going to have that reality where you're going to have teams that could be really good, and they're typically 9-3, but they're 8-4 because you're handing half. Like, you know who's devastated by this is Eli Drinkwitz. I saw Eli Drinkwitz was on with T-Bob this morning on the Wake Up Barstool show. I saw a graphic that they put up, and he said college football is just a big beauty pageant right now. I'm like, well, Eli, maybe that's true, but you're the ugliest girl at the pageant because your non-conference schedule is Central Arkansas and Kansas and UL Lafayette. And who was the other garbage team they played and scored 60 on?
I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
It does, but that's the point. Like, okay, you want respect? Play somebody. you control that portion of your schedule. Well, now guess what? You're taking off one of those trash games. You're taking off Central Arkansas where you scored 63, and you're going to play an SEC game. And they're going to hang another L on you. Instead of being a fraudulent 10-2, you'll be 9-3. And by the way, I don't really care what the record says. Like, I don't care if it's 10-2, 9-3, how it looks. As far as the optics of that, what I want to see is good football. I'd rather that than an artificially inflated record where you're 10-2 because you played a bunch of garbage teams. This is Missouri, right? Like, we all sit here and complain about Indiana a year ago going 11-1, and they played one ranked team, Ohio State. They lost by double digits, and they still got in the playoff because the record said 11-1. By the way, Lane went on talking about the playoff. It can't be these people deciding who gets in the playoff. We've got to get back to analytics and computers. Baseball and basketball have the RPI where they take into account margin of victory, who you play, where you play, all of that. Are you better than the 10-2 Big Ten or ACC team? Well, you took away 16 non-conference games, so you really don't know. It's just like the records in college football are so burned into our heads that 11-1 is so much better than 10-2 and so much better than 9-3. But it's so different because you're in these different conferences. I don't know. It's almost like I've been sitting here screaming for years that I don't care about these self-important dorks in a hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas debating things like defensive efficiency metrics and game control. And Honey Boo Boo, and who's the other guy? Ward Cleaver out there?
Ward Manuel, the guy
Ward
from
Cleaver.
Michigan.
Yeah, throwing out his opinion, just changing his mind every single week based on what they're going to do that doesn't really matter for anything because it's all a fraudulent TV show. The thing that I've said that I want forever is get rid of all the stupid non-conference games that nobody wants to see and your artificially inflated records. Play games that are actually competitive, fun games that you want to see, and then have a true playoff at the end of the season instead of this fraudulent piece of crap with a bunch of dorks in a hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas debating things like game control, defensive efficiency, to see who has the honor of playing in a playoff instead of actually just, having a real playoff where teams are seeded in that playoff. Yeah, let's get to 16, and then let's get to 32, where one plays 32 and two plays 31, and so on and so forth. I know a lot of you recoil at the thought of that. How, like anybody really wants to see 32 teams? I would. You don't want to see football? You don't want to see more football? I would love to personally see a lot more football. But I'm good. I'm good with 12 is better than 4, and we're going to go to 16, and 16 is going to be better than 12. Because you know what it solves? 16 solves the conundrum of a year ago where you had Ole Miss and Alabama and South Carolina that were all 9-3, and they're all bitching and moaning about how they're so much better than 11-1 Indiana or SMU, which lost the ACC championship game. And you know what the committee does because they're cowards? They look at the record, like Lane Kiffin said, like I've been saying forever. They look at the record and go, 11-1. That just looks so much better than 9-3. Okay, well, what if Indiana had played that schedule? You know a way to solve this? Go play games on the field. Don't solve it in a hotel ballroom with a bunch of dorks in suburban Dallas. Solve it on the football field. Like, seed the field, have a metric that's all agreed upon before the season. It isn't hard. Like, everybody does this. Have your metric agreed to before the season starts so teams know how to build their non-conference schedule, how the power ratings are all going to set up, and then you seed your tournament. Now it'll be 1-16, and then eventually 1-24, 32, whatever we go to, and one plays 32 or one plays 16 and two plays 15 and so on, and you have an actual tournament. And all those teams we just talked about get in. And I can hear you all recoiling. No, you win. It waters down the sacred regular season. No, your crappy regular season right now that involves games with Central Arkansas, where Missouri's bitching about they're not going to get in, but they load up their non-conference with Central Arkansas and UL Lafayette, and Kansas is their Power 5 non-conference. They play Kansas. Congratulations, you beat Kansas. Put them in the playoff. 10-2 looks great. Stupid. We all know the truth. So, prove it. Play it on the field. Good to see Lane Kiffin's an AFR fan. He basically has taken my talking points that I've been saying for probably a decade now, that most of you hate, but you're going to learn to love. You're going to learn to love it because you're going to get way more football that you want to see. Like, let me ask you a question. How jacked up were you for the SEC weekend scheduled 2 weekends ago? Was anybody excited about that? What do we have? Missouri and Kentucky, or Missouri, South Carolina. Wasn't that the only SEC game on the slate 2 weeks ago? It was a total trash pile of a schedule of a bunch of games nobody wants to see or cares about. Hey, man, but you need those games. No, you don't. You only have those games because they're a money grab. But when everybody stops playing those trash pile games that nobody wants to see, you'll have more equitable scheduling. You just have to reframe your mind away from what does 10-2 mean? 10-2, you're in the playoff. You got to reframe your mind. It's more important, what does your 10-2 look like? What does your 9-3 look like? I don't care if you go 11-1 if you didn't play anybody. It's time collectively the sport stops artificially inflating records and propping up teams with artificially inflated records. Go play somebody. Challenge yourself, and let's see how it all comes out. That's going to be way more fun for the fans. It's going to be a better product on TV. People say we're ruining college football. Do you realize ratings keep going up? Like the transfer portal and NIL is ruining college football. Do you realize every week they keep setting new viewership records? Because everybody has a chance to be competitive now. It's what Lane said. What's Lane stealing my talking points that he did for this article with ESPN. You're taking 5 stars that aren't sitting the bench at Alabama and Georgia anymore, and you're dispersing them around the country. So you're bringing the top tier, they're regressing a smidge, and you're elevating more, and so you're having a more parity-driven sport where more teams actually have a chance to win a championship. Instead of the same 3, 4, 5 teams that have a chance, there's 20 teams that can win a national championship. I don't think that's a stretch. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing to keep more teams, more fan bases interested and have a more competitive product. LSU lost to Ole Miss. That sucks. You know what they can do? They can get better over the next 7 games, make the playoff, have a healthy Nussmeier, an offense that's figured it out, and go on a run. I don't know if they will do that, but they can. I'd much rather that than watch Indiana football go 11-1 playing a bunch of trash pile teams and get in the playoff and get their ass kicked by Notre Dame. Yeah, congrats. You play 2 ranked teams. You get your behind beat. You got your tail beat by both of them. How you like that, Muse? How about that callback? You like that?
Yeah, that was good. See, that was good.
Well, give me a ding then.
If you're moving the mouse.
You're going to loudly boo me when I said that Jaxson Dart has a tail.
Well, he's working it all, so he might not have a tail.
He might not have the tail anymore.
Does he have a toe?
I know this much. A lot of guys in that Saints injury report with a toe.
A lot of them.
We're going to get to that in a little bit. But I got to remind you about the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com, WilliamsonEye.com. Saturday, what's today, Thursday? 2 days. Federalis Fest in 2 days, sponsored by the Williamson Eye Center. Cool live music outdoor festival here in Baton Rouge. If you love Americana music, you might want to check out Federalis Fest, presented by the Williamson Eye Center. Get your tickets at federalisfest.com, federalisfest.com. And if you wear contacts or glasses, you want to get rid of them forever, Dr. Blake Williamson can make that happen. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or go to williamsoneye.com. That's williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. If it's LASIK or PRK, maybe it's EVO ICL, which is the implantable contact lens. It's a reversible procedure. If it's the custom lens replacement, no matter your age or your refractive issue, they have a solution for you to be able to ditch your contacts and glasses forever at the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020 or go to williamsoneye.com. Okay, y'all, it's After Further Review. We do it every Thursday. Muse, Paulie, and I do our What to Watch. 3 things as we head into your football weekend to keep an eye on. We'll do that when we come back on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge.
After Further Review. After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Big shout out, as always, to Blazia and the great team over at Decision Critical. It's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. Maybe you're a guy like me on hormone therapy. Your doctor prescribes therapeutic phlebotomy. Give blood, keep your red blood cell count down. Remember, Decision Critical can come to your home, to your office. I mean, less than 30 minutes. It can do that blood draw for you It's not just healthcare. It's healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com, decisioncriticalbr.com. Told you my own testimonial. We had 2 Decision Critical nurses. Shelly and Carla were awesome. They came to our house on Monday. Drew was due for blood labs. It's very difficult with a special needs child. And they came to our house and were so patient with him. This was 9:15 on Monday night. And their nurses came to our house, and they were excellent. And, I mean, Shelly had to run out of there to get Drew's blood to the lab, which they called ahead to make sure they stayed open so they could get it and get it spun and get the results on a Monday night. They're awesome. Say it all the time. It's not just healthcare. It's healthcare for your lifestyle. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Remember, the nurses are all over the state of Louisiana now. They're about to open in Dallas-Fort Worth as well. So no matter where you are in Louisiana, their nurses are everywhere. Their home base is in Baton Rouge, but their nurses are all over the state. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Okay, football weekend starts tonight. What are we watching? Let's do it.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
Bring it up, Muse.
All right, let's see if there's a little bit of hangover for Georgia and Penn State, man. Can they still be licking their wounds? They each have pretty sleepy games. Kentucky comes to Sanford Stadium, 11 a.m. kickoff. I don't think Georgia's in danger of losing, but does it take them a while to get going? And then Penn State, they have to go across the country out to UCLA for a 2:30 kick in the Rose Bowl, which not normally the most raucous environment. Do those losses against big teams and big moments hang around a little bit for both Georgia and Penn State this weekend?
I'm watching Texas versus Florida. It's the Longhorns. They travel to Gainesville to open SEC play. It's the first of eight consecutive conference games for quarterback Arch Manning and company, with the next 4 coming away from the road. It's first test for Art since the season opening loss to Ohio State. Florida, if they lose, they fall to 1-4 in the loss. Schedule doesn't get any easier for Billy Napier, with Texas A&M, Mississippi State, and Georgia all on deck.
Let's find out if the surging New England Patriots are actually any good. They've got 2 pretty impressive wins, 33-27 and 42-13, but they were against the Dolphins and the Panthers. What we know is that the Patriots aren't the worst team in the NFL, but they lost to the Raiders and the Steelers. This is a different level. Sunday Night Football in Buffalo. Really good barometer of how much they're improving. Before they come to the Dome, by the way.
We got 2 of them this week, Scone.
Let's go.
2 more unranked
Let's go.
teams favored over the rank. We start in Cincinnati. The Bearcats, 1.5-point favorite over undefeated Iowa State. Cyclones down their top 2 corners to both ACLs. And then Virginia travels to Louisville. Newly ranked Virginia. They are 6.5-point dogs on the road to Louisville. Really good offense with Miller Moss. Field Storm fade as well.
Field Storm fade is an auto play.
I mean, and the unranked over the rank.
Give me Louisville on the money line 100 times out of 100 in this game.
The Cleveland Browns have a new starting quarterback. And it's not Shedeur Sanders, it's Dylan Gabriel. The Browns get to add another name on the long list of their quarterback history. Shedeur Sanders does remain
How many is it?
QB3.
How many is it? Come on, Paul. You got to prep that.
I know it.
It's 41?
41.
Come on, Paul.
It's a lot.
I'm doing your job. You and I are doing your job for you, Paul.
No more room on the jersey, probably.
You better, Paul.
Shedeur Sanders remains QB3. And he was asked about the move yesterday and literally mimed his answer to the media.
Saw that.
Crazy.
Hat tip Rivers Huey. Texas A&M, you're on upset alert, chump. Since joining the SEC, the Aggies only lead the Mississippi State Series 7-6. All the resources Texas A&M has, the reality is State's been right there with them every step of the way. When people wonder why State fans don't fear Texas A&M week, it's because history shows they should. Hat tip to Rivers Huey there. State! By the way, Jeff Levy, I saw this earlier today. I think he's won 8 straight as an covered 8 straight as an underdog against ranked teams.
Hell yeah.
I need to get that stat. I should have had that. Sorry, Paul. I'm pulling a Paul here.
Oh, come on now.
But a great number right there as well.
Strong.
By the way, big cover last week. Almost had the outright winner. We were all over State last week. Really like State in this spot. And even at Kyle Field, don't care. I really like State.
Blackout at Kyle Field.
Really like this spot.
Jaden Daniels, he returns from a 2-week absence with a knee sprain. Really want to check out that mobility. He's been a full participant in practice, but he'll have to have his first game back across country against a really good Chargers defense. Commanders really need a win, too, at 2-2.
I'm going to watch the Bucks and Seahawks. Both teams are 3-1. Bucks rookie Emeka Egbuka, he already has 4 touchdowns and currently has the best odds for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Seattle's battling in the tough NFC West. The Bucks should run away with the NFC South. Winner of this will be 4-1 and remain one of the top teams in the NFC.
You know what? I'm going to wrap this up as if there's any freaking doubt. 40-35, remember the number. When Vanderbilt punked Alabama. I got news for you, Coach. Vandy's coming again. Diego Pavia, he ain't scared of nothing. Vanderbilt's better. It's a giant letdown spot for Alabama after the game on the road against Georgia. Get ready, chumps. Kalen DeBose, this is your spot. Boy, you can get up against a big opponent. Your problem is you always lose as a double-digit favorite, you chump. Don't you go losing to Diego Pavia again, dog. I told y'all before Florida State, I'm going to tell you again, right? Don't you go lose. Don't you go mess up and lose to Vanderbilt again. But I would really like if you would actually mess up.
All right, that'd be great, actually.
I'd love to see it. There you have it. That's what we're watching this football weekend. It's after further review. Lee Sterling giving us his best bets, and we wrap up hour number 2 next.
After further review.
River City's 1 hour air where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001 or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. Heater safety check, heater safety check, heater safety check. Heater safety check. I'm gonna hammer this heater safety check into your brain for the next several weeks because it's October now. We're gonna hit that first cold snap soon, and you're gonna turn on your heater. That heater is dormant for months. It can collect dust. It can be hazardous. Before you turn it on, you need to have your heater safety check. River City's 1 hour air can do this for you. Mention the show, the Moscona special. They'll knock off $30. Join their maintenance club, and that's a complimentary seasonal maintenance on your heater and your AC. Heater safety check, 752-0001.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Place your bets, gentlemen.
It's time to head to the window.
Don't gamble it all in one place.
This is Lee Sterling's Best Bets, brought to you by Paramount Sports.
Lee Sterling won 11 straight NFL games on his service over at Paramount Sports. He won't win. I mean, guys out here cashing tickets. Lee, how are you, man? Don't hear him.
I'm good.
There he is.
I'm real good.
There he is.
What's crazy is I was looking at some of the draft projections, and these are crazy. I mean, before the year, if you were to look at who were the top quarterbacks who were going to get drafted in what order, I honestly wouldn't draft any quarterback in the top 10 now.
I believe it. I mean,
do you agree?
Oh, well, you're talking about Sellers and Arch and Nussmeier were the really common names, and that's completely flipped now. One game that might be named that might be gaining a little momentum is Carson Beck. I know you're down there in Miami. Look, Miami, Florida State's all you got to say. This one's at the Doak. I'm going to be really interested in this one, how Florida State bounces back. Miami's 4.5-point favorite. What do you think about that one, Lee?
Well, a lot of people thought that would be better if Florida State wins, and then Miami can. Well, you're never going to sneak in town in this rivalry, but might catch Florida State maybe a little high on themselves. But here's a little suggestion: watch the coin toss. I think this might be the most important thing of the game. Why do I say that? Because if Florida State wins, what I would do is I would take the ball and I'd try to score first. I think you got to put some pressure on this Miami team, make them play from behind, because I was watching the game, and Florida State was the better team. They just didn't win. Crazy things happen on these Friday night and Saturday night games, under the lights at home, and they did get upset. But UVA was down 2 starting offensive linemen, and they dominated the line of scrimmage. They ran for 211 yards here. So unless they've got the lead, I think they're in trouble here. Miami was laying 21 last year, won by 22. I think both teams are better. I think Miami's overall better. Their special teams or defense are better. Offense, not quite as dynamic. And I think Florida State's improved, but I never thought they were top 10 here. I think under a touchdown, Miami's the call, 31-23.
Okay, Miami laying 4.5. This line feels massive. A&M a 2-touchdown favorite against Mississippi State in the Battle of the Maroons. That's been a close series since A&M has been in the league. Aggies, Bulldogs, how do you see it?
Yeah, you got to understand the mentality. And Mike Elko's a defensive coach, and he's going to try to win games. If he gets the lead, he's not going to, start throwing the football around, especially after what happened last week. How about this? This was interesting. I was shocked at this. The Aggies are 1-8 against the spread the last 9 games. The only cover was on that game against Notre Dame where they scored, I think when the play clock started, it was like 7 seconds. So that's crazy. And Mississippi State is on an 8-1 run here against the spread. Something else that's going to give A&M some problems here as far as covering 2 touchdowns. Mississippi State runs the ball 57.8% of the time. When you run that often, and A&M likes to run it too, less possessions. So, let's say there's 8 possessions for each team or even 9. That means if they score touchdowns on 2 more possessions, they're only getting a push. I think they win the game here 28-17, but I think 14 points is too much.
Lee Sterling's with us, ParamountSports.com, at Paramount Sports. A couple of the college games I want to get your thoughts on. Texas, Florida, obviously so much challenges there for Billy Napier and the Gators. Texas, championship aspirations. They're a touchdown road favorite here. Longhorns, big price on the road. What do you think?
It is. Florida is struggling offensively, but their quarterback obviously is going to get some time, DJ Lagway, to rest. That's important. Their defense, rock solid. Only 6 touchdowns they've allowed the entire season, and 1 was less than a minute to go against Miami. Arch Manning obviously is not right. He got to play much, much better than he played against Ohio State if they want to have a chance to win and cover this game. And, the Longhorns' defense and ground game is good, but I don't think enough to win by more than a touchdown here. Texas, 20-17.
Okay. Texas, but Florida with the points there. Yep. All right, Bama and Vandy, Lee. Can the Commodores do it 2 years in a row?
Well, last year wasn't a fluke. 23-point underdog. They obviously pulled one of the greatest upsets in the last decade, 40-35. But before that, Alabama had outscored Vandy 148-3. Vanderbilt is 1-0 in conference play, but if you go back and watch the game against South Carolina, as soon as Lenora Sellers went out, I think it was a 7-7 score with a concussion, the game just changed. And Vanderbilt only threw for 177 yards. Their weakness is pass defense. Even Utah State threw for 274 on them. So I think the airways are open. This Bama team and Ty Simpson right now might be playing as good a football as any quarterback in the country. He's got 3 really good receivers. Payback is a you-know-what. Alabama, 41-20.
Big, okay. Lee likes Bama to win and to cover. Yeah. I will not be cheering for that at all. Hey, before we get to a thought on St. John's, remind people about your service and the number they can call.
Yep, just go to the website, ParamountSports.com. We won 11 straight in the NFL. Hit a 40-unit max wager last weekend with South Carolina, blowout over Kentucky. And we've got another 45-unit play. We're 73-29 lifetime on our max unit, 40 to 50-unit plays. You want to hop on board? We don't call it October. We call it Locktober. Use coupon code SAVE200, just $3.97 through Halloween night. Just one place, ParamountSports.com. And also there's a UFC card going pay-per-view Saturday night. We've won 14 of 17 cards. First time in 6 years since we started doing the UFC. We have a 40 and a 50-unit wager on one card, 7 selections, $57, ParamountSports.com.
ParamountSports.com, ParamountSports.com. Lee, I got 15 seconds. You want to give a pick on Saints Giants?
All right. Love the Saints here.
Okay.
And here's something interesting.
No, I got 5 seconds.
Situation.
I got to go.
Kellen
Lee.
Moore gets it done here.
I love it.
Who knows it a bit? See you guys.
AFR.
Muse, when I said I got 15 seconds, give me a Saints pick, Muse went, oh, no. I just walked Lee right up to the hard break. I appreciate it, Lee. Thank you, man. He's the best. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding. Oh, yeah. They do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. It's energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. By the way, if you're building your home, remember, new construction, tell your builder to use Relief Windows because lifetime transferable warranty. So you build your home, you install Relief Windows on the build, guess what? For the rest of the time you live in that home or anyone lives in that home, Relief Windows is replacing the windows for free. Lifetime warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Check them out online, ReliefWindows.com.